So are you rolling?
We're going in the corner over there.
Oh, we don't count this.
Another lip. Don't give me any lip.
Hello, Dave.
Hey.
Hey, folks. Oh, the nice weather ended at the door.
There's so many toys. I'm not really paying attention so much to what we're about to do as just what I walked in on. It's gonna be nice. We don't get to play out that often or get to play that often, so playing at all is kind of a nice thing.
Yes.
I'm Abel.
Abel, nice to meet you.
You're just playing the keyboard?
Keyboard and percussion and singing.
Okay. Well, this will be your vocal mic then. And this will be kind of your area.
Okay.
Here's your headphones.
Okay.
What we do is we just slide this over, and then we just slide that back over this. So that one over there will be dom, and then this one will be Sean, electric guitar. He's going to be standing right there next to the top.
It's going fun. Always on our toes, except right now I'm sitting down, I think it's a handful of songs, 4 or 5 of them, that we've worked on with Neil, our new bass player. He came in a couple of weeks ago on a couple hours notice, walked into a rehearsal, pretty much did the songs justice. It was awesome.
Instrumentation, Sean and I on electric, Jamie and John on bone and various percussions. Catherine's taking over keyboard world and more percussion. Tomer's on the funny little guitar. Drums, bass, and then everybody singing.
You can make it sound a lot like a guitar, but it's not a guitar. So when you're playing with a lot of people who play guitars and you're playing a cello like one, people seem to think that's pretty exciting.
The idea is that we want it pointed right there. If it goes off a little bit, it's okay.
Okay.
I've been playing bass for a little while. It was going fine, but it wasn't going great. And then Sean was like, "You should probably get a bass player, huh?" I'm like, yeah, we should. And I called Neil, and fortunately he agreed, and also showed up an hour later for practice.
I guess it was about 2 weeks ago to the day that he said, "Could you play bass for my band?" And I said, "Sure, I'd love to." It's great to play with so many folks, you know, the strings and the horns, and it's just, it's a new thing for me. I play much louder music ordinarily, and so it's really cool. At rehearsal, there's no microphones or anything like that. It's just people singing, and the volume's low. It's a new dynamic for me. I really like it.
So when you're moving around and stuff,
Yes.
the idea is I want the mic pointed right about there.
It's fun to find your place in the sound. There's so many people playing so many things. That took some getting used to. I've mostly played in bands where there's like, you know, drum, bass, 2 guitars, or drum, bass, guitar. And so it's different to think about your place in a larger whole, especially just playing an acoustic guitar. That's half the fun, is melding into the sound, but not taking up the whole sound or getting in the way.
I bought this mic for hi-hats.
Really?
Yeah. But it sounds great on guitars, so. It's tight. There's going to be a lot of noise in here. Not noise, but a lot of sounds that are going to be separated somehow. It's going to be a fun mix, that's for sure. You're welcome. We're going to call it a live recording.
Oh, yeah? Where's mine? Is mine behind me? It is behind me, isn't it? My coffee? My coffee behind me? Awesome. I'm gonna go get that.
Chuck, can we get your snare in?
Okay. We're taking some of my coffee first.
How's that coffee?
Really good.
like the world that we live in. Just live your life and then we'll all be forgiven. You can eat your cake and break somebody's heart. I sing a song about familiar situation. They say I love you without hesitation. And fall in love with somebody else. And the boys like the girls, and the girls act like they don't. And it's just the way of the world. Girls like the boys.
It's definitely orchestrated to a degree, and the more we play, the more everybody finds their own place kind of in the mix, plays when they need to play, and vocally it's different. I mean, everyone sings in this band.
We've had so many lineup changes since we started doing this that I have a cheat sheet of what I have to play on each song because there's always someone missing from the band. So at this point, this is the incarnation. This is what I have to play on these songs. And at some points in certain songs, I'm playing the parts of three people, what three people used to do. Because we're not going to be playing certain songs today, there's stuff missing, but we've got the electric keyboard, we've got the glockenspiel, which makes a lovely rinky-tinky fun sound. We've got claves, woodblock, jingle bells, tambourine.
And the boys act like they don't. It's just the way of the world. Boys like the boys, and the boys act like they don't. And it's just the way of the world.
The record came first, and then it kind of like had this big sound. And even though like the songs are like reasonably simple as far as like chord changes and all that are concerned, I mean it's just the fact that everyone, you know, we have 11 people doing it, that makes the songs. Once we were done the record, it was like, okay, it kind of has to be a huge band.
We tossed around some new stuff a couple months ago, but it's hard to keep 9 to 14 people focused. And that's, you know, that many ideas too, so.
I think we kind of, it was interesting. I don't think any of us have been in a situation where we've written a song with literally 8 people involved. And especially when you throw instruments like horns or cello into the mix, you know, we're kind of used to being given a track and saying, put something over it. You know, anytime I've written anything, it's been piano, guitar. I usually whip out the trombone and write a pop jam.
Or like try and find a place for the rage fife. Yeah,
And
no
when
glockenspiel.
we say rage fife, that's our cool name for the recording.
Chuck hates it's nails on a chalkboard for him. He can't stand the sound of the recorder, and you know there's usually 2 being played at once, and they're never in tune with anything, let alone each other. So he wants to die. So the less that we play them is actually the better for him.
Give me a 0.5 millimeter. Oh, too much. Wait.
It's a big old house with a big old smile.
Hold on. A big old smile. That's my fault. I got smile. Song.
Smile, heart.
Song, smile, heart. I thought about it too much. Sorry about that. Can we keep using the same situation?
It is song, soul, smile, small.
Soul is no.
Soul?
No.
Big old song.
I don't use the word soul.
But
Heart song.
smile is wrong in the first verse.
Smile song. Heart song, smile song. in the last verse of the song. And the reprise verse?
Which I don't sing.
The last verse is heart. Big old house with a big old heart.
Yeah.
Tiny towns by the sea. When you're old, you'll be with me.
Very last one is big old house with a big old heart.
Yeah.
So it's heart song,
Smile.
smile heart.
Heart song, smile heart.
Song, smile heart. 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay, this is the real one. That's good.
And can we get a little more? Remember we had talked about everyone doing that because Catherine and I
Yeah.
are weak. You are? I can't hear anything.
Can we hear that? I don't know. It's hard to hear everyone
It is hard to
individually.
hear.
Yeah. Do you want to do that part? Okay, so just two all together, just with Sean playing. So, right? 1, 2, 3. Well, Chuck and I were talking about it in the parking lot. Like, there's enough bands here, great musicians and great vision for you to have a show about it, you know, which is really strange considering there's only 65,000 people in the whole town. And what is it about Portland that makes it so fertile with so many people with great, not just great musicians, but like great visionaries doing really cool new stuff.
John and I, as trombone players, you know, can do everything from something like this to big band, you know, jazz or play on folk records, just a variety of things. Because everyone knows everyone so well, I think it tends to push people to be like, oh, well, I want to include horns on my record because I have friends who are horns that'll come over and play. Whereas, like, I also lived in Portland, Oregon, which, you know, it's a huge music scene, but I didn't do anything, partially because my trombone had been run over by a minivan. But,
funny now.
it's still not that funny. I'm still playing your trombone. I'm almost at times overwhelmed here. As there, I didn't do anything.
There's more of like a sense of community in the musicians here than competition. Like everyone's trying to help each other out and stay together as opposed to like trying to get gigs over each other or you know, competing for people in bands and stuff. People share musicians and we share gear and spaces and gigs and everything.
I lived in Boston before I moved up here 20 years ago. And the music scene in Boston is very, very competitive, but also very friendly. Like Portland is just so massive, though, that just the scale of everything, the cost of living and the rehearsal space and all that stuff, it makes it very overwhelming, especially if you are just trying to, you know, get your legs or whether you're trying to get a new group together and you've worked before. And the thing that struck me about Portland was that things are just a little easier and cheaper and the scale is smaller, but also just people were ready to hang and to work. You know, it was a revelation to come up here. It's really cool.
1, 2, 3.
Another late sleepless night, waiting by the phone for you to call. Did you ring again about it? I wonder who you're with, that's not all. You come home at
Yeah, adjusting to the volume's part of the biggest issue. When you're playing amplified, you can't hear yourself necessarily. You can't hear what your instrument is sounding like acoustically. You have to base it on what's coming out through the amplification, and that's a tough change to make when you're used to playing completely acoustically and hearing your actual sound instead of a representation of it.
I'm classically trained. It's a treat to get to play in a rock band. It definitely takes a lot of getting used to because it's a lot louder, and that's a thing that I struggle with a lot in this band. Equipment is a thing, a pickup and pedals. Those are all new things for me.
I wrote a list of 64 instruments that I was interested in using the other day. If I wanted to write a piece for any of those 64 instruments, they're all in Portland, and there are players for every single one of them. I was going through my brain, thinking of players and thinking of how I could get my hand on each of those instruments. Wrote them all down, looked at it, and went, holy Lord, if I moved anywhere else, I wouldn't have half of these things. Why not just stay here? At least to make a record. Sure. To play out, that's a different story.
Well, yeah, eventually you need to get out of Portland at some point, and in devising a way out, I think that's where we're at. We're at the, how do we go on tour basically without going on tour, because who can afford it?
It is nice that Portland has currency though on the road because, I mean, as you know, and I know, it used to be an anomaly or, it was very unusual to show up at a club and say that you were from Portland, Maine. People would say, well, where's that? Isn't that in Canada? That happened over and over again.
They're amazed that you made it.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
You have phones there? Wow.
You have music, electricity. Yes.
And now people are well aware of it, and now you have a TV show about it.
One of the beautiful things about Portland is that you get the chance to play so many different types of music. I'm in like 7 or 8 bands, and then freelance stuff, just pick up gigs. You just get a call for a single gig, or you get a call for a series of gigs. That's it. And you learn it, you do it, and then that's the last time you'll play that music.
Yeah, I'm in a few different bands and I write my own music as well and sit in with a lot of different groups. That happens a lot.
It is work, but it's not the day job. Most of us still have a day job.
I didn't go to school for music. I played in college, but it was kind of a surprise that it's been as much of a supplement to work and have it be something that you get paid for too. It sometimes is ridiculous. It's just, you didn't really think that was going to happen ever.
I moved into town like 8 years ago or something. I started playing with Dominic, who's playing over there, the acoustic guitar. I've done a lot of other stuff. I still do a lot of other things. I'm actually leaving right now to go to another rehearsal. I do studio session work for a couple of producers, engineers around town. It's pretty busy. I actually was just able to kind of quit my job to do this. If I can say that I don't have to punch in, punch out, which I'm slowly working towards, that's it. That's the dream.
Not to make it about money, but it's just like we can take chances here trying something new because we don't have this like overwhelming overhead. If you have an idea, you should be able to try it and not really worry about the financial aspect of things. But unfortunately, that's the way the world works. All the sense of community and people helping each other out, you can just throw caution to the wind and really try whatever it is that your idea is. It's all happening here. Like people are really pushing the envelope and doing really new things because they can.